What's up, guys? Drake Fitness here, www.drakefitness.com, and today I'm going to answer the question of how to gain size and strength. And I'm going to tell you their differences. A lot of people message me and they ask, well, how do I gain size and strength at the same time, and I'm just going to break it down on how our bodies actually gain both size and strength, and here's the thing. When you talk about gaining size, you typically talk about, it's a process called sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Okay, that's just pure size. And what sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is, guys, is it's actually just more fluid into the muscle. That's the easiest way to explain it. So you're not necessarily increasing the myofibrils or the strands of muscle fibers. You're increasing the fluids that's in them. So it's going to plump up that muscle belly, right? And so then we have myofribrillar hypertrophy, and that's the strength kind of hypertrophy, but that's also a real growing of the actual muscle tissue, the myofibrils. I hope I'm not losing. So just think, sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is for size. Now, how do we get size, pure size, building up the muscle, and as far as fluid, getting fluid into the muscle, pumping it up? How do we go about it? Well, we use the traditional 6 to 15 rep range. 6 reps up to 15, We've all heard it, right? And the difference in that and then the myofribrillar hypertrophy, which is the strength phase, is the 1 to 5 rep range. And that makes sense, right? Because think about when you use your heaviest weight. Can you really do your heaviest weight, your 1 rep max? That weight that you use for that, can you do that 15 times? Heck no, it doesn't work like that, does it? So you got to understand the difference. So obviously you're going to use a 6 to 15 rep range. You're going to use a moderate amount of sets. So you want to stick to 4 to 5 sets of a specific exercise you're doing. And then you want to concentrate. Here's the thing about where they really differ. You want to concentrate on the specific muscle. So basically, this is how the bodybuilding type of muscle happens, right? Say I want big biceps, so I'm just gonna rep out a whole lot of bicep curls, right? Well, that's totally different from strength. In the strength myofribrillar hypertrophy phase, you just worried about getting the weight up. Another thing to talk about is the rest times that it takes for sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, which is it doesn't call for as much as a rest time gaining size the bodybuilder way. 30 seconds to 2 minutes is what it usually takes in between sets or in between exercises. Remember that, because we're able to recuperate a lot faster, because it takes a lot less central nervous system activation, because you're not lifting a whole lot of weight and putting a lot of strain on your central nervous system. So that's something to remember. And then on gaining size, remember, size is going to be dictated on what you eat too. That's not necessarily with strength, but size is going to always be dictated on what you eat, because if you're not putting enough calories into your body, if you're not like in a caloric surplus, unless you're a newbie, you're not going to gain a whole lot of size. You may have experienced that. You got to feed your body if you want size. So that was the sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Let me quickly go over the myofribrillar hypertrophy. It's basically the opposite of all those things, guys. So you're going to stick with the 1 to 5 rep range, and you're going to do, it could be 10 sets. It's a lot of times it's higher amount of sets, because it's not as much reps. Like in some programs, strength building programs, it's like you do 10 sets of 2. Why do you do 10 sets of 2 reps? That's a lot different than gaining size, where you do 2 sets of 10 reps. You know what I mean? Well, why do you do 10 sets of 2 reps? Because your central nervous system, and it can only take so much beating at one specific short time frame. These are called power sets. You know what I mean? You stick with a heavy weight and you do doubles, triples. That's what they call them. I'm gonna do one rep, 2 rep, put it back, it's heavy. You let my central nervous system recover, I'm gonna do some more. You can't just rep out heavy, extremely heavy weight, right? So typically when you do the strength building phase, you're not really worried about the specific muscle. You want as many muscles that can help you lift up that weight. You just worried about getting up the weight. How many muscles can I use to get up this weight? When you thinking about a squat and you going for a PR, personal record, or you going high weight, you know, are you really worried about, oh, I want my hamstrings to really contract, I want my quads to really extend perfectly? No, you getting under there and you repping it out with any kind of muscle you can. You want to use your muscles in full unison, you know. That's the difference, and that's a different mindset when you're thinking about going for PRs and heavy weights. And then, like, the opposite of course, sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, you want to stick to 2 minutes to 5 minutes rest range, you know, for the myofribrillar hypertrophy or the strength building phase, because you really want to give your central nervous system time to, you know, recuperate from the intense weight that it's having to lift, you know what I mean? And so another thing, you see me keep on talking about, when I mention the myofribrillar hypertrophy, you keep on hearing me talk about the actual central nervous system activation. Well, that brings me to my next point, my next to last point. Gaining strength does not depend on calories. Now it's totally different. It's more dependent on your central nervous system. I keep on saying that because the way that you gain strength is basically this. If you lift heavy weight and say 1 week you failed and you couldn't get this heavy weight, well, at least you touched that heavy weight. So your central nervous system, if you watch my other videos about movement patterns, your central nervous system is gonna get stronger because it realized that, hey, this dude took me this far and he had me lift 300 pounds. I couldn't do it last time, but now I know I'm figuring out a better pathway to get to where I can help him lift this 300 pounds. And you will eventually get it because your central nervous system will realize that it's already been that far, and it's gonna create a way for you to get that weight up. So a lot of this depends on your central nervous system, how effective it can be at turning on the right muscles and delivering the power that you need for that next time you rep it out. That is a lot different, obviously, than sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. You just focus on just gaining fluid and gaining, you know, size. So, and the last thing I want to talk about, it kind of goes with the rest times though, about myofribrillar hypertrophy or the strength training hypertrophy, is that you can't work out as much. Here's the thing. If you're going under intense loads lifting weights, you can only sustain that for a small amount of time before you have to deload. You may have heard of deload week, which basically means take a few days off and let your central nervous system recover. If you have a hard leg session and you use heavy weight, you gotta let your central nervous system recover so it can get back up to speed and get you stronger. Actually, you know, that's when you really need to concentrate on that. Now, again, all of these size and strength do interlap. We do use the same resistance, but one is purely for blowing up the muscle and one is for, you know, the strength and actually building up the myofibrils. Now, think about these two things when you go to the gym or wherever you live. Realize there's a difference and work towards your goal in each one. And they do interlap. You know, you can make hybrid programs, but that's a different video. www.drakeellerfitness.com. I can make you a program for any one of these two if you need it, or a hybrid program for both. But with that, talk to you guys next time.